What is good, everybody? Merkel Moman on the scene. Welcome back to the Half Size Up podcast. We are now at episode 15. And as you know by now, we are a weekly podcast for sneaker news, UK releases, global sneaker trends, and all things in between. Today's podcast is brought to you in conjunction with the Pink Miracle Shoe Cleaner, the original shoe cleaner since 1985. With me each and every week, I have my co-host Ash Bash.
What is good, people?
And Dean Still.
What's going on?
And this week in the sneaker realm has been pretty quiet this week, which kind of feels like a breath of fresh air. In previous weeks, it has been pretty intense, so it's kind of good to have a bit of a gap. I was going mental over these New Balance ALD Amar Manier 3s, man. Proper, like, made me feel salty. Anyway, over the past week or so, we've seen drops in the Adidas Cross Bathing Ape Superstar and Air Jordan 7 Flint, the Magic Mushroom SB Dunk Lows, and the Yeezy 500 N Flames, which I actually thought were fire in my opinion. Don't know about you boys, but
Nope.
I actually thought they were sick. Who said no?
That was me, Ash.
Anywho, today we do have a special guest feature on the show with approximately 18 years, could be 17. I don't know if I'm just guessing. With approximately 18 years under his belt, sneaker collecting. He's that guy you thought was about 21 years old, but he is actually in his mid to late 30s. Daily, he posts about 1,000 stories on his IG account. Here at HSU, we at him at every single Yeezy raffle, whether he likes it or not. He's the undisputed king of sneaker hoarding. To Ash and Dean, his nickname is Kuya, aka Kuya, aka Big Brother in Filipino. To me, he's just plain old Jefferson Abenojar, aka Jeffers. Boys, give it up for at J Abenojar, lads. Let's go.
Going on?
Thank you. What's really good, people? Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on, man.
Great to have you on, man.
That is quite the intro.
We had to bring in the big dogs. But yeah, Jeff, long time coming on, man. Dope to have you on HSU. Only natural for the homie to come on the show. So we're glad to have you on the show, man.
Feels good to be here.
Cool. We're going to go through a few things with Jeff on the pod, and he will get to play Sneaker First Thing later on. But for now, let's get stuck into our first segment, in which we would like to call Favorite Shoe You Wore This Week. In this segment, we talk about our most favorite shoe that we've worn this week. And today I'll be getting the ball rolling. So that'll give you a bit of time to think about what you wore. So for me, lads, pretty generic, to be honest. Nothing too hype, nothing too flashy. But I actually had on a pair of New Balance 327s. Majority white mesh upper with suede on the toe cap, a bit of suede on the aglets, and a icy sort of outsole. Midsole is white also. Top down, it looks dope. Such a dope shoe. Really fitting to the feet. So it looks cool if you've got, I'd say if you've got a skinnier type of foot. If you've got a wide foot, I don't know if it will really bang. But yeah.
That's me out and Jeff right in.
I don't even need to unlace my shoelaces.
No, you slide it in there.
Straight up fire shoe. So yeah, nothing too heaty for me. Just nice and cozy, nice and generic. Ash, let's go on to you.
Yeah, so I've actually been on annual leave all week, so I was like proper excited to rock all my kicks that I've been like waiting to rock and stuff. Then it rained pretty much every day, and all the shoes that I'd planned on wearing, it went out the window. So I rocked a couple pairs, but it's more sort of leathery pairs than the sort of suedes that I was going to look forward to wearing. But yeah, my favorite pair was the Air Force One Paranoids in the black with white swoosh colorway. They're still breaking up nicely. I might have to accelerate it a bit though, because one of the right shoe is like breaking up so slow compared to the left. It's looking a bit wild out there. Like anyone that sees me doesn't know what these are. Must think I'm some bum, but that's how the shoe's supposed to be.
Is that the 1.0 or 2.0?
1.0, yeah, the black one.
Fire shoe, man.
Best colorway at the two.
Definitely. The concept looked nicer, innit, on the black one. Just works.
Yeah, I think it works a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree, man. D, what did you wear this week, bro?
Mo, I don't want to upset you, but I've worn them 3 times since they arrived already. But the ALD 5. You got a pair, so it's all right. It's like
Jeez.
you got a pair from the
I think
first
Jeff's
shop.
got them as well, hasn't he? Has Jeff got you got
Only
ALD,
the
isn't it?
first ones, the first red ones. Yeah.
So I don't feel as bad, but do you know what? It's that the shoe in hand is really good. Like it
Fire.
lives up to the hype. Like it's definitely like Instagram's favorite shoe, so it feels like a little bit boring, but
Yeah.
when it arrives and you see it, and it just is so wearable, super comfy as well. It's a great shoe. Now I want the other colorway, even though I didn't want it that much to begin with. So
Yeah,
it's
my
all
entries
good.
are in already.
That new one where it looks like it's got a bread sole.
Yeah. Wait, which one?
That's hard. There's like a new colorway. It's like white on top, but the bottom of the sole looks like a Jordan bread colorway. It's like
I
grey
haven't
with
seen
red.
that.
I've entered it on End. I think it's on End at the moment. Go check it out.
That's like the USA, like a
Yeah,
USA.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's hard.
That's
Just the second ALD shoe.
yeah. That's the second colorway, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Oh,
really
is it the
nice.
other one? Yeah.
Yeah.
From the green.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I was thinking that was a pass, but after getting this
Oh yeah,
one,
you're right. It is that colorway. Yeah. So I was thinking about the soul.
made me
That'll
want it.
definitely be like in my roster at some point. There's one shoe that comes before it, but that is the next shoe that will have to be in my roster at
The
some
prices
point.
on them is pretty low as well for that colorway, so it's doable for sure.
100%, man. 100%. Jeffers, what did you wear this week, man? Let us know.
Didn't really have too much heat. I mean, I only went into the office once this week, and as Ash said, the weather's not been too great, so I put some leather kicks on. I did have the UNLVs, but I think my favorite one I wore this week, probably the favorite one that I wore this week. I've been going to the gym in the morning since the gyms are open. I ran out of tech fleece, so I didn't want to do any sneaker sins with wearing Nike and Adidas. So I had some Adidas bottoms flying around, so I wore my Static 700. So I think those are my favorite because they're like quite comfy, and anything 3M, if you know me, like I'm sold.
Yeah, that's a fire shoe, man.
Subtle flex, innit?
Proper bangs.
Just easy, just super easy to wear. Cool. All fire shoes won this week. Guys, don't forget to use the hashtag FSYWTW, favorite shoe you wore this week, so that we can feature you on the HSU stories throughout the week, basically. So yeah, don't forget to use that hashtag. Up next, we've got... I kind of missed this segment, actually,
It's been a minute.
Classic vibes right there.
It's been a minute. This is the part of the podcast where we get to know our feature just a little bit more. And because we have Jeff on the show, we wanted the listeners to know a little bit more about himself. So let's go to the man himself. So Jeffers, our first question from HSU is basically, it's real generic. What was like your earliest memory of you getting into sneakers?
I mean, we went to the same primary school, so shout out St. Francis. So I kind of stemmed from there, like seeing people like Craig and his cousin, like there was Shireen and Rohan, that everyone used to just get trainers from America. I think at the time in primary school, it was like LA Gears and stuff like that, and the lights just come out and you're kind of like mind blown.
Yes.
Mad. No one would wear that. They just wear them crepes like on the way to school and on the way home, and you just like, that was kind of like my first memory of seeing them. But obviously, like growing up in the 90s in secondary school, it was more of like a TN era, so like the 110 era. So Air Max Plus wasn't like too available here. There wasn't too many colorways, but if you had family overseas, like in America, you'd be like begging your aunties to just find the freshest colorways to bring them over here and, kind of flex a little. So I was pretty much into the Air Max scene in terms of those colorways, and the fade. It was just one of those, I need to have that shoe. And obviously, watching NBA in those times, I used to like idolize like Kobe and Jordan, watching their feet when they play. I was more into the Adidas Kobe era and late 90s Jordan era. So there are quite a few stories I have regarding those shoes.
For real, man. Do you know what? Yeah, Jeff, as Jeff said, we have like been mates for the longest time, and we were mates in like primary school, secondary school, college years, and then obviously into our adult years. But growing up with Jeff, he was that guy who actually had all the crepes, as well. He was wasn't quite on Craig's level, but Jeff would come back from America, and you'd just be like, bruh. Like, John saw me out. Like, he had all the TNs, yeah, and the TNs back in the day. If your Nikes like faded, it had that fade. You would just gas. You're like, oh, Jeff, man, you're
From a
mad.
distance.
And then he'd have like the Penny Hardaways, the Rodmans,
Jeez.
The hairway
he'd have
up.
the Grant Hill feelers, the Gary
Damn,
Paytons.
Jeff.
The worms,
was the
the
guy.
Paytons. Like, oh man, I have a like story about them Paytons. Do you know the Paytons, the glove with the zip?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so most people got the black one, innit? So I used to, back in the time, like when you were watching like The Box. You remember The Box with the music videos?
yeah.
Yeah. So they had like Public Enemy, like they had a music video, and one of them was wearing the white gloves. So there was a housewarming when I was in America. So like obviously, you know, in our culture, when they do housewarmings, they throw money around like in the house to bless the house. So you take that money and you're supposed to like save it or whatever, don't spend it. And we must have gone Nike Town in San Francisco. And I walked out with them. They were like $100. I got the white leather Paytons, and then my auntie just asked me like, "How did you buy that?" I was like, "Oh, from the money from the." I got in so much trouble for them crap, but it was so worth it. I still got it to this day. So if I find them and clean them up, I might have to do a post for those because that's like 98. Yeah, 98.
Wow.
Mad.
Yeah,
That's great, Jeff. You know that Exos, is it exoskeleton?
the red
That's
part on the monkey palm thing.
on the white pair. It was green, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like lime green.
Yeah, like luminous, like lime green. That's fire, man.
Yeah, one of my favorite pairs.
That's dope, man. Preference wise, just like obviously just sort of moving into the future, and you know, with us being in like the digital age and being on social media, etc., etc. Do you prefer creating your own content, or do you prefer collaborating like with your peers when it comes to, you know, having content to post on like your social medias, etc., etc.?
Well, I used to like, you know, to collaborate. Like, I think it was more of like if you're out and we're all together, you know, we would like collaborate and do pictures together. Like, you know, I've done pictures with you, with Ash, you know, with Inventive, like people like that. But now kind of like no one really sees anyone. I'll
It's
just take
crazy how it's
pictures.
changed, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
mad.
whenever you're free or the sun comes out or there's some nice shadow, I will take the trainers out and I'll take a picture. So for me, it's like I'm not as consistent as I used to be, but it's just whenever I feel like it, whenever it suits me and I'm in a good mood, then I feel like posting.
For real, man. I mean, like respectfully, I think we all, you know, had a little spat where we like consistently posted and wanted to get our personal brand out there as well. And then times have just come where it's sort of, I don't know, not tedious in a sense, but it's kind of like you're seeing the same things throughout your feed.
Yeah,
And
it's just changed. I used to be every day I had to post something.
Yeah.
I fucking make sure I get out and do something. Now it's just, yeah, unless it's like worth doing, I'm not gonna just
Yeah.
post for the sake of it now.
And you know what it is? It was like a lot of people used to be like on the release day, post it first, and that, you know,
Yeah, that
for
was
me,
big.
I'll post that a month, 2, 3 months later while everyone's worn their pairs because, you know, I just don't want to be lost in that. Everyone's posting the same thing. You just
Yeah.
scrolling through your feed. So I'll just wait.
it's so easy to as well, like want to post like first or like get it seen or get it on foot and
Well, it's
like,
that first regram, innit? That's what everyone was
yeah.
hunting for.
It's true, yeah. The times has changed so much since then, but yeah, if you guys have not seen Jeff's Instagram account, beautiful aesthetics, a lot of collaborations with a lot of different creators, and yeah, it just always works, always bangs. So if you ever get to check out at Abenojar on Instagram,
Barefoot pics.
for real, man.
No face, no case.
And Jeff, just one last question before we move on to the next segment. Obviously, you know, we've probably been in the sneaker game for a really long time. Social media wise, sort of MySpace, High Five, Facebook.
Oh my days.
Jesus Christ, aging
High
people,
five.
man. Relax.
Asian Avenue.
Showing out Asian Avenue, come on. What so obviously we put ourselves out there for the past, like, consistently, I'd say for like 3-4 years with our sneaker collection, you know, fit picks and whatnot. You know, in today's current climate, like, what is the driver that keeps you in the game of sneakers? What keeps you collecting, wanting the next sneaker that's coming out? You know, what keeps you wanting to buy more sneakers?
That's a very interesting question. I think it's changed a lot. It used to be back in the day, like if you like a silhouette, like I used to be very into like Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s, taxis and things like that. I'd like to have every colorway that come out. But now they've made so many, especially like with the Jordan 1. I'm a bit more selective of what I collect, and also the amount that you actually still have, and you've only got 2 feet. It's not sustainable. So I'm kind of like a bit more. If I like it, the materials are a big factor now. So if they're like Dunks, I like SBs, and because they do the collabs, and I like SPs because the leather quality, and some of the new colorways, when it comes with that McDonald's pleather kind of leather, I kind of it's a bit more easier for me to pass. And if it's like an OG colorway, I might consider it because the aesthetic is appealing to me. Certain collabs, if they're done right, it doesn't mean if it's got a name with it that I'm going to want it. But if it's done right and the materials are there, then that kind of keeps me interested. And especially if there's a colorway or an OG shoe, like a Jordan colorway that's just come back and it's never been out and I've never owned it, that also intrigues me to go and buy a pair like that.
For real, for real. How much does hype, like percentage wise, let's say percentage wise, like on you, how much like does a hype sneaker like influence you to be like, no, I need that, I want that? Does it play a big part?
I can't say that I don't look at hype. I mean, I think we all do. So I would say it probably influences me at least 30 to 40%, because sometimes it's hype that makes you look towards a shoe that you probably weren't even looking at before. And that's for most people and new people in the game. Hype does drive awareness, and I think it does play a slight role in my selection as well. As I said, you're being a bit more selective. So we've collected for so many years all these GRs. Sometimes we're trying to condense and just keep pairs that you just are harder to obtain.
Yeah.
And you can just go back to the sneakers that you already own and remember that you can wear them now. They're not just in boxes in the back of the room.
I totally agree, man. Totally agree. And I think we are all sort of guilty of falling into hype, easily falling into hype.
I've bought some dead pairs, man.
Exactly. Like obviously a lot of like our collections are sort of Jordan dominated as well, but the moment Virgil just drops like a Air Max 90, Air Max 1, we're like, oh yeah,
Just waiting.
I've got a few Air Max 90s somewhere over there. But cool. I just, like big massive respect to Jeff. Like back in the day, like in St. Bon's, shout out St. Bon's, we'd kind of stay after school and play basketball in the outdoor playground.
In the rain.
And Jeff would literally have on like his Penny Hardaways, and we'd just be wearing our school shirts and like tucking our ties into our shirts.
The short tires.
Short ties, yeah.
You was on the
man.
short tie flex, okay.
Yeah. We thought we were bad mans like that, innit? But yeah, Jeff's always been kind of like an influencer to me, sort of growing up. He is not massively older than me, but he is he is older than me in that sense. But he's always had like that kind of little influence on me as well. So he probably, without Jeff and like having that kind of friendship, I probably wouldn't be as interested in the sneaker game, if we didn't influence each other, I suppose, I guess, isn't it?
Do you know what's good though, Mo? Like, if it wasn't for Jeff, I don't think I would know all of you guys at the moment, because I think Jeff was the first one that I was chatting to on IG, and then I randomly ran into Terso down Westfield. They were telling me about, oh yeah, my friend Jeff was chatting to you. Then I started chatting to Jeff, and I started chatting to Mo. Then I started chatting to Dean, and then it just spiraled from there. So shout out to Jeff for getting this whole friendship, like big group started, really. Just from us two chatting.
Do you want to go in a bit about how we first met, Ash?
Was that the Oxford Street thing?
It was like Regent Street. Do you know what it was? Because you were talking about hype earlier, Mo. So like, I used to watch Ash's videos from back in the day, like from when he was doing Air Max 1s and stuff. And then he started doing some Jordans, so he'd come up in my searches. And then one video, I think he had a Filipino T-shirt. So I said like, what? Like your T-shirt? And then we just started talking on Insta after that.
Yeah.
And then it was the Cause drop. And talking about hype, obviously it's Cause and Uniqlo. It was like I work like near Central, so I was like, oh, you want to go for a drop? And he was off. And then we kind of just met the first time, and it was just natural from there. We just
literally
got some clothes. And after that, like history, innit?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Damn, that was time ago when you think about it. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, Koy Ash is famous.
So Ash, so basically, translation, Jeff stalked you first.
No. I liked his t-shirt, innit?
But yeah, I suppose Jeff was a middleman. He was a bit of a glue that brought us all together.
Yeah,
So
proper.
shout out to Jeffers then, isn't it? Cool. Lads, let's move on to the next segment. So moving on, we have Sneaker News of the Week. This is the part of the podcast where we discuss the biggest news within the sneaker world. Now, this piece of news, guys, is not massively the biggest news in the sneaker world, but it is something that has come to light within the past couple of days. And this week, it's with regards to UV reactive paneling on a Air Jordan 1 silhouette. So basically, the materials on the shoe, you expose it to some sun rays or UV light, and it changes color. It's not the first time we've seen something like this, as we have seen this featured on the 2019 Chinatown Market Cross Converse in the Chuck 70 highs and lows. And time again, we've seen a number of customizers implement this on the Air Force One or a Vans Old School. Anyways, back to the subject. Nike aren't just putting this on any Jordan 1. It's specifically going to be on the Air Jordan 1 Mid. And therefore will push the Air Jordan 1 Mid more and more into the public eye, even though it's already in the public eye that much. As it stands, it does look like the UV panels chosen on an Air Jordan 1 Mid will be on the heel counter and the ankle collar, leaving the toe box and the swoosh on the mid panel in a regular white color blocking. Nike are going to be releasing more silhouettes with UV on it, like the Air Force One and the Air Jordan 1 Low. But my question is here: have Nike exhausted their ideas in terms of design? Like, are the times of Tinker Hatfield and the Sergio Lozano long gone? You know, is this kind of shoe for you, or is this the type of shoe for a new collector? Ash, let's go to you first, man.
You know what? I've been thinking for a while. Like, I'm not that I feel sorry for Nike because they're a big company. They're always going to smash it. But it's very rare that something like really new comes out from them that bangs. Like a lot of the stuff that comes out that people really like is retro stuff and retro stuff in a different colorway. This whole UV thing, from the picture I've seen of that mid, obviously it's a mid, so I was already not interested. But seeing this, I'm still not even interested. If it was in a high, I still wouldn't be interested because I think it looks pretty terrible. I know there was those Civilist dunks. I don't know if that was the exact same technology, but that was kind of kiddie. And these pair looks pretty kiddie to me as well. I think Nike need to, I don't know what they can do to sort of step up and get new silhouettes or new shoes that are banging because, as I said, I cannot for the life of me think of something that's really, really new besides that collaboration stuff. And even then, most of the collaboration stuff is with some sort of retro thing towards it. So they need to up it, but for their own business, they smash it regardless. So I don't think it's like a big issue for them, you know. What's the last shoe that really took off? Maybe I guess the thing is though, like the 270s, the 720s, the what's the shoe with the big soles in it, Vapor Max and stuff. They don't
Mhm.
work for me, but they are successful. So maybe Nike thinks they're doing a good job. Do you think those shoes are doing well in general?
I mean, for me, it's just not something I would go to, but I don't know if it's a generational thing.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, does it cater to the new type of collector? Does it Does it go back to? I'm not going to say purists, but I'm going to say to an old, like more than 10 years plus collector
I
from
don't think it does. I think with the
exactly.
Jordan ones and stuff, they're doing well because a lot of people that are Jordan fans, even if it's like a Travis Scott, they might hate Travis Scott, they still like the shoe. But when it comes to like Air Maxes, a lot of the new Air Max silhouettes, you won't find the Air Max 1 or Air Max 90 head interested in any of these new ones that come out.
For real, for real. D, what you thinking, man?
Yeah, I don't think there's really too much more I can say outside of what Ash has said about it. There is like, it feels like there's like a gap at the moment for um I don't know, like an innovation in the new kind of silhouettes. There have been some successful drops, like the new Air Max ones. But like you guys said, it's a totally different audience, and there's definitely like a disconnect between the people who like loved the older Air Max and the older Jordans with the stuff that's coming out at the moment. I think it's like across Air Max and across Jordan brand as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one because like you said, Mo, like the guys who love the 90s, MX1s and so on, they're not into the new Air Max. It's not
Not at all.
yeah, it's not
Not
hitting
even
that same
consideration when they see it. Yeah.
exactly. Like it's not even like something that they'd even like give a second look, right? So, and that tends to be the case with a lot of the Jordans as well. When Jordan Brand release new pairs, it's very rare any of them are well received. So I don't know. As I'm not a designer, I don't feel like I can say, oh, they need to do X or Y. But there's definitely room for like designs where it's like they can do something. They can definitely put a shoe together that we would like. So it's up to them really. I think there just needs to be a little bit more of a freshness, I guess, in the sort of silhouettes they're coming with.
Do you think they're sort of future proofing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could guess that.
Yeah, like so shoes that are coming out now, 10 years time, people are going to be like, oh my God, like I really wanted them, back in 2021.
Well, you might see in 10 years' time, some kid's going to be like, "Oh my god, 270s are back out. They slap." And we'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But
Exactly.
it is
Oh, look at a cloudy air bubble.
a giant cloudy air bubble.
Jeff, what's your take on it, man?
Well, as if they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, just your like the whole take on sort of the designs that are coming out are like, is it the kind of shoe that you would actually go for, or is it something for the future collector to be gassed about?
I think it's something to entice new collectors, the UV aspect of it. I mean, on the mid, you lost me at mid, so I probably won't be going for them. But like, I I do like the anything that's kind of changing because I like 3M. So if there's like a UV aspect and it's got like you've got two different shoes if you walk outside and you come inside, that is kind of appealing. But that silhouette in that height probably not for me. The Air Maxes, I want to say like early 30s, but I'll be lying. But I'm kind of from the older generation, so I kind of like the original shape of the Air Maxes. So when they come out with things like, is it 2090? What was the new
Yeah, there was
Air Max 90?
yeah.
That whole shape, and they had the same colorways and everything. Like for me, like I just can't see myself wearing it. Like, I mean, for the new collector, they probably think this is fire. It's really comfortable. Like more air, like means it's better or something. But like I prefer the original. I like the recrafted series, like when they bring back the OG colorways like infrared and things like that. But that shape is timeless to me. Bringing in, I don't know, different aspects or different tech to it. They did it with the Jordan 1. They're doing a lot of sustainability kind of like materials and things like that. It doesn't really scream out to me. I'm all for the cause, but it's not something for me personally. So, I think it is to kind of like entice the newer generation, in my opinion.
I just think altogether, they just need to have a break with the Air Jordan 1, whether it's the low,
100.
mid, or let's just have
Prince
a break.
money though, man. Why would they?
I don't know about you guys, but have you guys been stopped wearing your ones for a while for a big break and it kind of felt good just not to wear ones for a bit?
Yeah. I took mine all upstairs. All the ones by the door gone upstairs.
Yeah,
like-
to make me not want to
it
wear
makes
it.
you not want to wear them because they're just everywhere. Whether it's the mids, which are like on everyone's feet, or like the new Jordan 1 releases that the highs that are just all over Instagram. And yeah, man, it just makes it less fun. It does.
Do you know? I don't want to sound like like a gatekeeper or like
It's so hard not to when you're not trying to be.
I don't want to sound like a grumpy like collector, but it is absolutely everywhere. You're right, and they just need to have a break with, and Nike can change trends. If anybody can change a trend in the market, it's Nike. Like they mark the best marketing in the world. Like so, if they did once move people to something like an AirTech Challenge shoe, that it could be on trend. If they wanted to move to the Flight 89s, they could make that they can make it trend. Like they just have to put a backstory on it and put it out in the market, put it on the sneakers app, and it will sell. Like
Do you think just, you know how they say just give a shoe to Travis and it'll blow up? Do you think that actually works? As in, like, I know he had the 270, he had the Jordan 33. Do you think any of that changed anything for those two shoes?
Don't know. You'd have to really look at stats.
Mm.
This is probably where we'd need T Sneaker Dog.
Yeah,
The stats and the numbers.
for real.
Actually, if you're listening to this now, Andy, obviously we at some point we've got to get you on, like, just to give us a breakdown of these
Yeah,
numbers.
crush the numbers.
But yeah, something like that. I think it'd have to be numbers, and I bet you we'd be surprised.
I know people have bought the 270 that don't like 270s at all. So, but I don't know if they bought any other random GR ones. That's the thing.
Same with the Travis 6 as well. Like I just started seeing people buying older pairs just to show that they have a 6, so that it doesn't look like they just jumped onto the 6. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly they've got a 2012 pair on their page, which they've never seen. You're like, okay.
Oh, I
If you
brought this
say
out the
so.
vault.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You just bought that just like last week. Anywho, like, if you're listening, man, come on. Let's get some new silhouettes out there. Let's get some new colorways, some more innovative ideas. Allow this UV changing shoe, man. I don't know if that's corny or what.
Don't even work in this country because we might have 4 weeks of sun in it. So it's kind of a fail, isn't it, for UK sales?
Just got to bring a UV light with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Just
good for
put it in the
pictures,
box.
but going out, I'm not sure.
If you have to bring the UV light with you, man, is that a flex? Like, you be in the club, you be in the bar, you be in the club. Hold on a sec, babe. Let me just get my UV light out.
I'm sure people use those UV lights to see if Jordan 1s are fakes, don't they? I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah. Anyway, lads, that was a good topic there. Right, so we're moving on, lads. It's that time again, our favorite part of the podcast, and we have HSU question time. This is the part of the podcast where we give you, the listener, a chance to ask about absolutely anything that's going on within the sneaker realm. And this week on HSU Question Time, we've got a ton of questions from you guys. Big shout out to everyone that gets involved each and every week. The first question comes from @live.dreams_. And he says, shout out to Jordan, by the way. He says, I've seen some really questionable colorways on classic sneakers recently. Do you think designers are aware that people will buy literally anything as long as it's on trend? While we gather our thoughts, Dean, let's go to you. What do you think about what Jordan said?
Yeah, I think, I don't think it's so much the designers that believe that. I think the people designing these shoes obviously care about what they're doing, and the effort goes in. I don't believe anyone that's given the chance to design a shoe doesn't really think the product they're putting out there is good in their mind. But I do agree, like a lot of, I think particularly like we've spoken about already, Jordan 1s, there are so many bad colorways quite often released. It's really like last 3-4 years. There's been a lot of bad Jordan 1s, and I think Nike and Jordan brand, they are happier to just put more stuff out. So when there's more stuff, there is going to be a dip in quality, and we've seen that. So I guess in some ways, the brand are aware that they can put any colorway out and it's going to sell out. But the designers, I think they obviously like what they're doing, and whatever shoe they design, they've put their effort and heart into it. So I don't want to be too critical on in that
I
regard
hear
of
you.
things. But I
Yeah,
do agree that I think it's just a lot of the colorways now that Jordan Brand wouldn't have done before. They're doing them now because they'll sell out. They will all sell out, right? So they're just allowing more designers more freedom, I think. And for a lot of us, that means a lot of colorways that we probably don't particularly like.
totally agree, man. Totally agree. Ash, how about you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes I think that they're mocking us and saying, let's make the worst colorway. Let's see if people buy it. And when it happens, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe they actually bought that one. Like the Volts, that Volt pair makes no sense. That recent Volt pair where it's like a different yellow at the back and it just don't make any sense. I don't get the reason why it was made. I don't get anyone in the design room made that and thought that was dope. I can't believe that happened. I can only imagine it was a troll job and it pulled off because a lot of people bought that shoe. But yeah, it really, it's that bad to me. But I don't know. Designers, it feels like they're getting more freedom. Maybe they just got a bit bored and they're just like people. There's less pure, not less purist, but there's more people that don't really care about this being an OG colorway, so they can go out and just make whatever colorways they want now. But I do kind of think it's a good thing because while we personally probably love the OG colorways more and we'd like more bread releases, more black toe releases and whatnot, the majority of people would prefer more colorways because, like, how many people are super gassed about the Shadow 2.0s that didn't care about the Shadow 1s? And to us, maybe Shadow 1 is way more important, but to them, it's just like a grey and black shoe that looks dope to them and they're going to want it even more
Yeah.
than a Shadow 1. So, different people and a different crowd these days.
Agree, man. Agree. Like, just as you said that, Ash, I was literally thinking about that exact shoe, the Volt. And it's
It
weird
cracks
though,
me
you
up,
know.
that shoe.
Do you know what? Do you know how many videos or how many like pictures I've seen of that shoe being customized
Really?
to replicate like the ochres? And
Mm,
it's
yeah.
like,
But that's the thing. Jordan will make colors super close to what you really want and
yeah,
sell
yeah.
you it like 5 times. And then in the 6th year, they'll release the one that you really want.
And then you
So
take
you
it
could
out.
end up buying for 6 shoes instead of the one, you know?
Do you know what a prime example of that is the was it White Heel Chicago Mid? It was like it wasn't quite the Chicago, but it was like just one little panel change
Yeah.
didn't make it a Chicago. Like,
And they had the black toe Chicago as well, didn't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. It's nuts, isn't
I
it?
love it, man.
Jeff, what's your take on this, man?
I think the colorways, as I said earlier, just probably to widen the market that's already there. Design wise, like for myself, probably for most people here, like we like the original color blocking. So if it's like a Chicago color blocking or a black toe, where just the back bit is changed and the front is just streamlined, that's kind of like the direction I'm going. But I don't know if it's more on the designers, you know, like because the shoes are already there, the silhouettes are already there. It's just questionable about the colorways. I mean, like Ash said, it might be like an internal pool that they're doing, and that person gets a bonus for see how many people can buy that colorway.
Yeah.
Some of them are a joke.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's actually a good way of thinking
I
about it.
haven't passed on this many ones in a long time.
Man, one after the other. I'm just like, nope. Don't need it.
Yeah, I barely buy them now. It's crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Our next question is from @Omari Kuchiki. Hope I pronounced that right, bro. Controversial question here. He says, on Nike Talk, do you think, well, sorry, this is a question that he's seen on Nike Talk. Do you think sneakers have become gentrified? Ash, let's go to you first.
If we're talking about gentrification, the same way you would say like how Hackney has gone from being like a ghetto ends to having Starbucks everywhere and everyone wearing
Hipster.
crop trousers
Yeah.
and different shoes and stuff. I guess so, but whether it's a good or a bad thing, I would say that the community and people that are into sneakers is grown crazy. Like the sort of people that you would see that are now into shoes is not the same people that would be before. But whether that's really a bad thing is, I don't even know if I could say it's a bad thing. It kind of sounds rude to say it's a bad thing because what's wrong with people getting into stuff? It does sometimes feel like when someone gets into something, it kind of ruins it for you. As we see, like everywhere we go, there's people wearing Jordan 1s now, whereas before it was just us rocking Jordans and suddenly everyone likes Jordan 4s because the Jordan 4 Off-White came out. It kind of bothers you, but I don't know. But the actual question is, has it been gentrified? I would definitely say so. From you can see from the people that are wearing it nowadays. Yeah. Just whether it's a good or a bad thing, I don't know what way I'd look at it.
Yeah, it's sort of like a grey area in that sense because I don't know. For me, sort of a good example of this is like, let's say, Fear of God Essentials.
Oh, that's a great example.
Like I was around during like season 1, you know, where they had the small logo, sort of top left pocket, sorry, and then a little bit of branding on the left arm sleeve. Then sort of season 2 came out, you know, not too many people knew about it, but it was getting a bit more hype. season 3 comes and literally it is like the garment of every single person on social media.
TV,
Literally every single
YouTube.
person.
Oh,
Exactly. Like,
Just the Love Island Howie people.
yeah.
Once they get to it, it's game over.
and I don't want to be a gatekeeper in that sense.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Very, like,
That way.
it is tough, yeah. But if people want the product, they're gonna make it, and it is on trend. It is on trend for you to be wearing Fear of God Essentials. It is more affordable than the regular Fear of God line. In the same sort of sense with sneakers, exactly what Ash said. Like AJ1s, come on, man. It's like 5 years ago, it was just like sneaker collectors who were like wearing them and knew the colorways, knew the stories behind them. Fast forward to today, and it's just every couple of meters you walk. And I probably say that every single podcast. It's the truth, man. And I agree, man. It has become gentrified in that sense.
I said to Dean before you used to see someone rocking like bread ones and you'd say, that's definitely a sneakerhead who's been in it for a while. Nowadays, you would never know, would you?
Yeah,
No.
that's a big point, is that when you saw someone in a shoe like that, you knew they were into shoes. Like, it wasn't an accident, or they didn't like stumble into it or something.
Yeah, it's not like a uniform.
Now, if you see someone in them, like, you could go up, be like, "Oh, your shoes are great," and they'll be like, "Yeah," but they wouldn't know a thing about them or
Yeah.
the story, or it's different. And obviously, this topic is like, it's tricky. You want to tread carefully with what we say, but how we put it rather. But I do agree, like, there is elements of gentrification going on in the sneaker world. Just the audience alone kind of highlights that. But like Ash said, whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. I think we are seeing some, like, longer time collectors feel a little bit alienated by their favorite brands. I don't know. I've seen a lot of Jordan heads like feeling like Jordan brand are catering to them less and less. So it's an interesting dynamic, right? Like, because Jordan brand need to cater to that audience and the newer audience, and it is very different. And I think we're in this like kind of crossroads in the culture right now, where you know, there's a lot of people who've been doing it a while, and there's a lot of people who are into it newly. Some of those people genuinely really like shoes. They've found something they're passionate about, and some other people are more into it for, social media and stuff like that.
Which is fair for them.
But yeah, I mean, to each their own. It's a totally different generation. I think to a lot of the kids growing up now, their celebrities who have been on social media, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's a totally different kind of world to the one we're used to. Like, when I see someone huge on social media, it's cool, but I don't like idolize that person in any way. But maybe if I was growing up now, if I was in my late teens,
I'd love to know how I would take it,
yeah,
It'd be
it's
amazing.
impossible to know, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's a tricky one, but I
It
do
is.
think there are elements of gentrification. There's a lot of people now there are people using shoes for gains in other areas, I think. So
100%, man. 100%. Like, you just see it all the time, and you know who it is as well. It is obviously people in the community
yeah.
that you just know. So it's just,
Yeah, it's one of those things you can always, like, when you go on someone's page or you talk to someone, you can tell where their head is at with all that sort of stuff,
yeah,
Like, I
100.
know when I'm talking to someone, if I can have a conversation about the history of Jordan Brand or something like that with this person, or if my conversation with that person is going to be a little bit more, top level, more of a superficial conversation, about
Yeah.
perhaps shoe design or the way a shoe looks or something. So it's different. It's different.
Totally agree, man. Jeff, just a quick take on your perception of this.
I think it's just, the audience has been widened. Basically, like, I mean, I could be on a bus, and I mean, I welcome it at the same time. Like, I see girls wearing Air Force Ones, which I didn't used to see before. I see a lot of Jordan 1 mids and Jordan 1 highs. I respect that. Like, when I'm in the gym, I see females and males wearing Jordans, and they didn't used to, like, a year or 2 years ago. Yeezys, like, I think there is an element that it's gone a bit more mainstream than it used to be. Back in the day, you would, as Dean said, you would tell if someone's wearing like Bread Ones or something. You could just tell they're a sneakerhead, and you'd give them that nod and that little kudos, and you kind of like, yeah, that respect. But now you just really can't tell. You just really can't tell. But yeah, I just think that the audience has been widened, so I wouldn't say it's a negative thing, but I just think there's more access to shoes now, so it's more available.
No, for real, man. I agree totally.
It's
And
good for the companies and the brands. They're killing it.
cool. Next question is from our guy, our homie, at Lone Ranger. Oh, this is a spicy one, lads. Are all sneakerheads sneaker collectors, and are all sneaker collectors sneakerheads? So this is what he said. I see a lot of big collectors who claim they are sneakerheads, but their whole collection is DS. Do you think they actually really love the shoes that they wear?
That they own, not that they wear.
Well, yeah, that they own. Exactly, yeah. I think I will jump in on this one first and let you guys gather your thoughts. But literally, I mean, just time and time again, do you know what? There are a lot of big sneaker accounts out there, and there are, accounts that are getting X amount of likes, X amount of follows, getting regrams from, big accounts like StockX and Collect and all that kind of good stuff, right? But like these sneakerheads are, I always distinguish the two terminologies as sneaker collector is somebody who's been collecting, since I say mid 2000s, and like you actually have a genuine love for collecting sneakers, and you will go to the ends of the earth to purchase a sneaker, even if it's not high. That's my definition of a sneaker collector. Now, sneaker head is somebody who like just buys the most latest sneaker, wants the likes, wants the follows, wants the clout. And yeah, you take from what I said, however you understand it. I don't know. I just think to myself, there is a difference between the two. Like one's got real love for sneakers and one is just there for clout. And we see it time and time again on Instagram. Some people are not even wearing their sneakers. I mean, some people literally, I've never seen them wear their shoes once. And that's probably not my business, to be fair. It's probably not my business for me to know if they have worn it outside of what they're posting. But I mean, I know as a collector, if I buy a sneaker, I need to wear that sneaker. Like I'm going to wear that sneaker, and I will be wearing that like probably as soon as I buy it, or maybe a week after I buy it, or something like that. I mean, the difference is like you'll just see people who are literally buying for the gram. Like they literally buy it, it comes through their door, they take it out of the box, they take a snap, they put it on Instagram, get the likes, put it back in the box, and let's just chuck it back to the top of the pile. And as opposed to a sneaker collector who actually like they're sitting there, they're loving it, they're looking at the materials, they're understanding the story, they're understanding the design, they're wearing it 2 to 3 days consecutively, and yeah, they just have a genuine love. They give back to the community so that they give their input on how they feel the sneaker culture is at the moment. For me, that is a sneaker collector, and I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I just know one has more of a passion over the other, if that makes sense. So with that said, Ash, let's go to you. What's your thoughts, man?
Right. So for me, there's a variety of different categories. You get people that are like collectors that might be like a DS, as I call them, weirdo collectors that just want to have every shoe and have it DS and have it in the house. I personally can't imagine like getting the neutral grey through and be like, oh my god, I finally got them. Then put them on the shelf and never wear them. That just, I don't even get what's exciting about it. Might as well look at a picture, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't see the point of having it if you're never going to wear it. If it's some old shoe, fair enough, but have a new shoe and not wear it, I just find that really weird. Then you have like a sneakerhead, which is what I would say I am, where I'm just a fan of sneakers in general. I might not make a pickup, but I might still like a shoe, might appreciate the shoe just because I like shoes in general. Then you get the hype beasts that just want the hype stuff only, a lot of clout chasing. Then you get some people that just need to have stuff just for the gram. And then you never know, like 3 months later, they're putting up want to sales of their shoes when literally they were gassing up like, this is the best shoe I've ever had in my life. I can't believe it. The next thing you know, they're selling it. And it's just like, did you like the shoe or not? Because how can you be selling a shoe that you said is the best shoe you've ever seen? So you get a bunch of different kind of people in the community. Whether one's better than another, it's up to them. But I think people should know their lane and what they're sort of in it for, you know? What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, as you both said, like I think there's different types of collectors, and there's hybrid collectors that do a bit of both. I personally wouldn't buy like there are people that buy the shoe. It may be OG, it may have sentimental value, and they might not even buy it in their size. They might not ever put it on, but it's history, and they want that in the collection. That's just like a must for them. There's people that buy them, buy doubles, and they just leave it in boxes. May come visit them once in a while and look at them. I think you said you call them weirdo collectors, but there's those ones as well. I always go for my size personally. I'm a bit
Same.
of a mixture. So if I do have anything DS, it's because I'm waiting for the right opportunity to rock them. It's not the greatest weather right now, but yeah, there are maybe a handful that I still want to rock. It might take me a while to rock them because I may have taken me a while to obtain them, so I want to make sure I break them out at the right time. So there's people that want to break them out at the right time. There are people that obviously only go for hype, and you can tell who those people are because they don't have any GR of the same silhouette unless it was a collab. There's those kind of collectors. And there's some people that are just FOMO, so they'll literally buy everything because a retailer will be gassing it up, and they have that in their collection, and you never see it again after that first post that you've seen. Never ever seen that in their collection again. So I think I'm a bit of a hybrid. Like I'm a collector, but I'm also a sneakerhead because I like what I like, and if I buy it, it's for me, and I'll get it in my own size, and I'll make sure they get rocked eventually.
Yep.
Very fair take there, Jeff. I like that. Dean, how about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same. I do think there's just a lot of greed in the sneaker world. I think I'm a bit of a hybrid, like Jeff was saying. Like there are pairs that are historically important to me, like OGs that I really need to have. And those some of those pairs I'm like cognizant of the fact I won't wear those loads, but I will wear them. But just it's more the history of the pair and what it means in that sense to me. But there are other pairs where I have to like the way it looks, to be honest. And I'm at a point with it, for example, like where even if I like a shoe, I'm just very strict. And if I'm not gonna wear it loads, or I've got similar pairs and it's not historically important, I'll leave it. And I think a lot of people are just have lost kind of touch with what what drew them into collecting shoes in the first place. When you have so many shoes and you're getting everything, there's no like hunt for a shoe. There's no like you have more of a connection with each pair when you can remember what you have.
It's true.
When you've got so many shoes, you can't remember what's going on. Like it just dilutes the whole thing for me. Like I just don't get the same enjoyment. Um, I like having like a little bit more of a. When I say smaller, I'm talking like we still got loads of pairs. So I'm not
Yeah.
talking like 10 pairs. I'm talking like I'm talking 70, 60 pairs for me at the
Double
moment.
digits,
Yeah,
basically.
like I would like to ideally have 50 pairs.
Mm, mm.
And I think that's way too much already. But when you love shoes, there's a lot of different shoes you love, right? But there's also a limit, and I think it's hard to judge now. But I see guys with 80, 90 pairs unworn. I think it's weird. I just think I don't get it. I know shoes are like art, and some shoes you may want to double so you can wear one, and like I do that sometimes when I really, really love a shoe. But outside of that, I don't know. It's confusing. It's hard to say anymore. With the influence of social media and all these other things, where what someone's drive is. Before it was easier to tell, you know,
Yeah.
because
Do
there
you know
was
what is
always
a major thing as well, Dean? Because of a lot of
yeah,
the collections is Jordan ones.
mm,
Jordan ones come unlaced. So when
yeah,
someone's posting,
yeah,
"There's my collection," and then like 90% of it is unlaced, you're like, "What are you
yeah.
doing, man?"
There are
When
so
you see the
many.
lace bag on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there are so many of those in the community, and there's like I won't say his name, but there's one guy in particular. Like he's a cool dude, but whenever you post something, all I see is like just Jordans, loads of Jordans with completely unlaced with the bags on, and I'm just like obviously he loves it because he's not selling them, is he? But
Mm,
at the same
Mm.
time, you're just like,
just got it to
why?
have it.
Why do you need them all? Like
Holding,
it's
man.
hoarding, exactly. Like that's to me, and it's greed. It's like
Mm.
it's greed. It's just greed. I think in the world we live in now, there's just no need to have.
It's just
Um,
having it to say you have it.
yeah, there's no need. There's just no need for that level of volume on this thing. I think when you're if you're really a collector, like you have tastes, right? So like you're gonna be more pragmatic and pick the things you like. Um, Someone once said that you can tell more about someone's collection from what they don't have, and I think that's so true. Because when someone's got
Oh, yeah.
everything, I can't tell you shit about what they like because they've just got everything, you know.
That is
Um,
such a true statement, man.
yeah,
I think it's
That's
actually worth mentioning as well that there are a lot of influencers out there that get seeded pairs. So you do see some people that they do have a style, but then they'll post something out of the blue that you
yeah,
know that they would never wear, but then
Mm.
they'll just
yeah.
get rid of it after the post. So
After the
I
post,
wouldn't,
yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't consider them a sneakerhead or a collector. I think they're getting a promotion out of it. They're going to get some kind of benefit, and it's their
Mm.
motive. They'll post it and then done.
so true. That's a really good question, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that question, man. Next question is from our guy Mike and Kick. Shout out, Mikey. Do you have a written list of sneakers you want to get? If so, what is your top pair that you want to get? Jeff, let's go to you first. Like, what's your top pair right now, this current time? What is the pair you need, want, and are going to acquire?
I already know Kuya Ash knows what pair I want
Oh
because
yeah,
I get angry every time.
yeah.
Oh, go on.
I've always wanted the bread one, Jordan, like Jordan ones. I've always wanted the bread ones. Like I came close to it one time, came back and it was gone. I have got got a pair customized from the UNC to Chicago's, which is actually better leather. But I do actually want a pair, so I am hoping I struck out the first two times when it retroed. I'm hoping the third time I don't get an L, to bots and things like that because I need to obtain that legitly and I don't want to pay resale.
You're gonna get those patent leather joints.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I'll have like 5, 6 different versions of the bread one, and
I
it's not
know,
the
not the
bread
one
one.
you want.
So I could have just paid resale for that bread one for cheaper. Do you know what I
For
mean? But yeah, that is
Jeff,
like I think one of my grails. Like I need that shoe.
Jeff, if you get them patent ones, yeah.
keep going.
Matte it. You're gonna matte it
Just,
for me.
I just recently bought the Krylon matte finisher. So
Jeez.
Did you do that on the SBB 3.0?
potential project, future project. So yeah,
All right.
that's is in the pipeline. So
We'll talk. We'll talk.
stand by, stand by.
But yeah, that's the one
You,
for
I've
me.
got
Yeah.
you. Cool, Ash. How about you, man? Your number one pick at the moment, like it was the NBA.
It's. I'm not gonna say it. It's always a shattered backboard, but I'm not paying for it, so just forget that. But pretend it doesn't exist. It's gonna be probably the A6 Gel Light 3 AFU Koi's in the orange colorway.
Perfect.
Really want that
Fire.
pair. It's on my radar, but prices just ain't coming to where I want them to be, man. It's not happening.
Fair, fair. Dean, how about you, man?
Do you know? I've got most. I'm fortunate enough to say I've got most of the grails that I've wanted that are obtainable. At this point, but there's always been a couple of pairs I wanted for a while now. You know what? I wouldn't really say it's a fair shout, but ever since I saw the picture of the the low Villanova dunks. I really wanted a low navy dunk, but to be honest with you, if I really think about it, I could live with that. I wouldn't pay resale for a pair, so I don't feel like it's a true statement. I don't know. There's not a lot of shoes that excite me at the moment, and I can't really think of one pair I'd want to go back for. If the Sakai Black Vapor Waffle was £200 cheaper, I would definitely go for it. But I am paying £500 for a Vapor Waffle, so there's not a lot. It would be dope if we could get uh, that metallic purple Jordan 1. I was really excited about that, but then I've seen the
Yeah,
way it's looking, and
Is it looking a bit
uh,
funky?
that the ankle
really.
collar's looking a bit weird. I don't
It's a
know.
women's pair, right?
Yeah, so
Mm.
I don't know, but yeah, I've always wanted to get a pair of Villanova dunks, just for the colorway because I like navy blue. But they're retro in that now, so it's gonna come out in some synthetic leather garbage, I'm sure. So I'll cop one of those, and hopefully it's not too bad. But the dunk leather has been like just beyond shocking, man. It's so
But
bad.
it kind of makes you want to beat them though, so you don't feel guilty wearing them.
Yeah, do you know what?
You've
But
got to
like
get for retail though. Can't pay over
a
retail for them.
part of me like low key hates them at the same time because they feel so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one.
D, would you actually say you're Villanova guy then for NCAA?
Nah. That's just the shoe. When it comes to NCAA, I don't know. I don't really have a team, man. I don't really have a team like that. I just like to watch it.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, funnily enough, I'm a Duke fan.
Really?
Here we go.
I'm Duke of Blue.
Guy's the blue master.
You're joking.
Hold
Stop,
on, hold on.
This is a farce.
let's not go into
What the fuck, man?
Let's not go into it. Okay.
Fucking hell,
Anywho,
man.
Mike.
Oh,
Oh, have I done mine? I haven't done mine. You know what, guys? You've all said like fucking dope pairs of shoes. I'm just gonna sound like a fucking hype beast now, man.
perfect.
We're getting
Dude,
them, Mo. They're coming out this month. I can feel it. We're gonna get them. Don't worry about it.
I probably. Do you know what? I need these Emma Manier threes, man, and
It's
I
happening.
just
Price is coming down.
it is, man.
We're
It's
not paying
coming
a grand for those. No chance.
every single day. I'm checking Ash, like literally every day, and it's like it's coming down slowly but surely.
I just wonder if a EU release is going to make it go up again. That's the scary thought.
Yeah, I'm not exactly
Hard
that.
to predict.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. So I was thinking, do I give myself a target price and then just
You
pull
should
the
throw a bid in
trigger?
at what you're comfortable with and just wait maybe. If you get 2 pairs, happy days, eh?
Yeah, for real, man. I won't post the first one though. But anyway. Mikey, that was a wicked question, man. Appreciate that. Our last question, lads, is from at Chaldrito. I hope I pronounced that right. This one's a nice, light-hearted one to end on, actually. What's your cleanup routine if you have one? I feel guilty putting away dirty kicks. Dean, let's go to you first, man.
Do you know what? I don't really clean regularly, but I do have a thing where I told you guys before. If I put the shoe back in the box dirty, I'll remember that it's dirty. So like,
Bruh.
I'll be chill. I'll put it back in,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "That's dirty. I shouldn't have done that, but I've done it now." And then like 6 days later, I'll be like, "All right, I'm taking it out," and then I'll clean it. So it bothers me. But that's just if it's like like I notice like significant dirt like on the midsole and shit. Um, Outside of that, I'm pretty lazy with my cleaning. I don't do it that much, but I will give my shoes a wipe if I think they need it. Not crepe wipe, just like any sort of wipe. I don't use any sprays or anything like that either. I don't like that stuff. I think it's weird to put that sort of stuff on your shoe materials. So, yeah, it's not for me. But to each their own. But when it comes to the cleaning, yeah, just very light cleans here and there when I think it's like badly needed only.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Ash, how about you, man?
Yeah, same as Dean really. I'm not a major, like, unless it's crazy dirty, like massive bits of mud on it, whatever. I'll like do a quick like baby wipe or whatever when I get home, but
Yeah.
nothing crazy. I've put shoes into the box where they're semi dirty, but As I have a shoe rack by my door anyway, so normally it goes in the shoe rack. But if there's like grossness on the bottom, it's not going to go on there, and I have to put it on its side, and I'll eventually scrape that off. But my shoes don't really get that beat, to be honest. I'm not like running in the mud like some madman.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Jeffers, what about you, man? If yours are super dirty, like, what do you do? Just chuck them.
Well, I'm opposite of Dean, so like for leather shoes. I don't really do much, but if they've got material, nubuck and things like that, I have spray near the door. So if I can see the weather's a bit cloudy and it might rain, I'll spray them. So they never get to the point. They last longer. They never get to the point that they're really beat. But things that are beat, I'll probably just do some Jason Mark if they really need it. But I'll always have a crep wipe in the car or in my bag. Just if I want to be fresh. But I think it adds a bit of character. If it's got a little bit of dirt on it, I don't want it to look like I just wore them today and I only undressed it. So like, I don't mind a bit of dirt, but yeah, if it's like a stain or something, that's going to bother me. I need to change my shoes.
You ever had any trouble with spray before? You ever had any defects?
No, I haven't. People are saying that it changes the color of some shoes and stuff, but I only do it on material ones, and if it looks like it's going to rain, that's the only time I'm going to do it. Other than that, I'm not really OCD about it. Only thing I'm OCD about is just having the laces the right length and the right direction. but dirt doesn't really bother me too much.
Fair play.
Yeah, fair enough, man. So I think, pretty much all round for me as well. Luckily enough, I don't really get my shoes dirty like that. I'm not running in no forest and shit like that. I usually drive everywhere, and everywhere I drive is like indoors. Yeah, and if it is sort of like raining and whatnot, I'll just wear crep that I know I can just be and like not give a crap about. But yeah, I think cleaning routine, I would say I do have a box of like Jason Mark wipes. Obviously, we do have the Pink Miracle shoe cleaner. Shout out the guys over there who, they sort us out with cleaner. And actually, the other day, sort of went to the park with the little one, and like a dummy, she ran into like really muddy water, and she didn't know it was muddy in there, and she was really upset. So as soon as we got home, I had to pull out the Pink Miracle shoe cleaner stuff, and like it really works. So I mean, for me, unless it's like a really really severe case of dirt, I think I'll just give it a Jason Mark crep wipe, to be honest.
Yeah, most of us don't really get caught in the bad situations. We know what we're doing, and we're not going to wear suede when it's going to be snowing or some shit.
We check the weather before we leave the house.
100% have to.
You know what? As a collector, or like as a sneaker collector, these are like precautions you take before before the fit. You think of the shoes first, don't you?
Yep.
But yeah, wicked question. Really, really appreciate that. Guys, do get involved in HSU question time. We get that out 1 or 2 days before we record the actual pod. So make sure you're submitting your question so that we can chat about it, because this is our favorite subject. But yeah, get involved. Appreciate that you getting involved, guys. Moving on to the next segment, lads. We have Cop of the Week. In this segment, we discuss what sneakers we copped or wanted to cop this week. And this week, we will start off with Ash.
Yeah, there wasn't actually anything from my memory that I actually wanted to go for this week, which was amazing. I love when it's a light week. It means no money's being spent. But I did finally get my ALD 550s. They arrived. Me and Dean's, we finally got blessed with our pairs. We were super worried about that. I was like petrified that they weren't going to come, because I kept seeing them on the feed and they just looked so fire. I was getting super nervous. Then I was nervous that I bought the wrong size, but mine fit me perfectly. They look dope on feet. So finally got those in hand. I need to get the other colorway now. Yeah, I need to get the other colorway now. But other than that, there wasn't, what come out this week? Nothing crazy. So yeah, I wasn't really
quiet, man. Super quiet.
There was those Jordans, the mid, the Zoom and all that, which was like a kid's pair. There was those spring water dunks that I wasn't really interested in. So yeah, light week for me.
Cool. Dean, let's go to you. Any pickups this week?
Nah, man, just the like Ash, the ALD arrived. I've worn it 3 times already. Not good. But I picked up I forgot to say last week, I picked up the Air Max Revolution from 2004 retro. for £25, brand new.
Mad.
Yeah, they've got like, I reckon they've got like maybe 3 wears in them, and then I reckon the sole will go. But it's the
Oh, I
same.
see.
It's the same midsole as a Jordan 3, so
That's it. Yeah,
it's an
that's it. Yeah.
easy one to kind of replace. So I'll wear them a few times, see how they go. But they're old, and I can see the air bubbles, so cloudy. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be one of those ones where, yeah, I'm gonna need to get it fixed. But I'm really happy to have it for £25 with the
that's cool.
OG box, and it's a cool shoe. It's just something more of a collector's thing for me.
That is fired. What is the what box does it come in? Like the
It's
orange
like
ones?
the orange ones. No, like the like the
Old school orange.
similar to the old dunk boxes.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sort of style. It's fucked though. The box is yeah. It's it's all right. It's all right. It's
Where
a
did
bit
you find that?
eBay, man, because I always look for that and a few of the other old silhouettes from that time period in like a UK9. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't really pop up often. And when they do, they're just like mashed. This pair wasn't, and yeah, I could tell no one else wanted it because he had it there for like £60 with best offer, and my first offer was 25, and he accepted it right away. So
Like what?
Wow,
yeah,
that is such a come up, man. Beautiful shoe, man. When you
Which color
showed it,
did you say you got? Was it blue? The blue one.
it's the yeah
yeah,
white and
Yeah,
blue
yeah.
colorway. Yeah,
Nice.
beautiful, beautiful
yeah, it's a
shoe, man.
great pair.
Jeffers, any latest pickups?
The
Any?
Cop King.
I think I'm not the cop, but I think I like you, Mo. I last weekend I picked up the Travis Scott sixes on the
Oh,
weekend. That's
oh
probably
yeah.
the biggest cop that I did this week. I did forget that I did enter the Bape Camo Superstars, and I got an email yesterday, and they came today. And I
What are
never
they
win.
saying?
So you know what? The packaging that Adidas is doing, like I'm not talking about these crushed Nike boxes that you get from JD, but like the packaging of this Bape box, it's like super sturdy, thick, like but it's got its own lid. It's like they went totally all out to the paper, to the whole box design. Like actually in hand, I'm kind of like tempted to keep them now. I wasn't expecting to win, so I just entered anyway. But
Yeah,
now that I have them, I'm kind of like, these are fire.
I think they're
These are
dope.
actually fire.
I just don't
Yeah.
think shell toes would be comfortable for me. I can imagine.
Yeah.
They're not as hard as they used to be. They are a bit more softer, so you can like press them. They're like the rubber's
Okay.
like different than I remember back in the day,
Yeah, I thought that
like
was like
early
a proper
2000s.
cuff
Yeah,
thing. Mm.
yeah. We used to
Do you
sell them in it, Mo, in First Sport back in the day. That's when I used to have my first pair.
Yeah,
But these
yeah.
they're made slightly different. They feel softer. The rubber is not as thick.
Do you know what? Yeah, just going back to that actually, yeah. So Jeff actually got me my first job at First Sport, and that was at Marble Arch. That I think that store now is Mothercare. So I
It might have
think
changed it again. I don't even know.
change, yeah. But actually, yeah, that was really good memories. Actually, I
That
remember
was a fun time.
I was on kids. Jeff would be like on the floor or in the stock room, and we just like shout at each other like color codes and stuff like that. So if it was one of those superstars or whatnot, you just like throw it out to me. But yeah, that was fun
What was the
times, man.
discount saying back then?
Was it
25?
30% or 20? Yeah, 25 or 30.
And being at that age, yeah, and things are coming out. That is such a dangerous area for guys at that age into sneakers to be in, especially when you see everything with discount price.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you're working for free, spending your money where you work.
Yeah, your size, it's sold out when a customer asks you, but that's your size 8 in the back. Oh,
It was, yeah, it was very entertaining time, man. That was I wish we could go back because it was just funny, man. It was just funny. And then then JD took over.
Ah,
We won't go into that.
nah.
Anywho, for me, I haven't done me yet, have I?
No,
I haven't.
what'd you get?
So for me this week, the wallet was not smashed.
Amazing.
No, no smashing of the wallet this week. Don't know. Just as Dean said, man, it's just been super quiet, and it's been nice. It's been nice to just have a bit of a break and not really have to like stress or go mental over something on a Saturday morning, or enter this for me, enter that for me. So this week I've kind of just been keeping myself open to potential ML Manning Air free cop. So I just want to keep my finances aside for that, just in case like an opportunity arises. So for me, 0 cops this week. Cool. All great cops, boys. We are actually moving on to the next segment. So we do have our special guest feature on today, and we would like to play a quick game that we would like to call Sneaker First Thing. In this part of the podcast, we get to know our special guest, Jeff, via a type of word association game. So we say a word or a phrase, and Jeffers, you have to say the first thing that comes to your mind. And we can only accept the first thing you say. Today, Ash will be hosting today's Sneaker First Thing. So, Ash, over to you, bro.
All right, Jeff, 20 questions. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Number 1, air or boost?
Boost is life, but air looks better.
Fair enough. Number 2, StockX.
Expensive.
Number 3, who's a better moonwalker, me or you?
Battle on Real coming soon.
Coming soon to a reel near you.
Yeah.
Number 4, Dunk Lows or AJ1 Lows?
Dunk lows.
Dunk Lows. Number 5, what do you think of the Offspring community?
Friendship.
Okay. Number 6, 3M or Glow in the Dark?
3M.
Number 7, worst lace swap you've ever seen?
When the colorway just has nothing to do with the shoe, I'm just gonna remove you from my followers.
Jeff, it's called Sneaker First Thing, yeah? The first thing that comes.
I figure, man, butters. I don't.
Number 8, shoes in the box, drop fronts or out on shelves?
Shoes in the box.
Okay. Number 9, Travis Scott or Off-White collabs?
Off-White collabs if I can buy them.
Number 10, resellers.
Necessary evil.
Number 11, what's the most amount of sneakers you've bought in 1 year?
I would say maybe 40.
God damn. Number 12, air shake or air worm?
Worm.
Perfect.
Number 13, what's the best Filipino dish?
Adobo.
Bang.
Perfect.
What do you think of sneaker Instagram?
Mainstream generic.
Mm-hmm. Number 15, Nike SB Tiffany High, dope or nah?
Dope.
Number 16, how many pairs in your collection?
Round about 100.
Okay. Number 17, when you worked at First Sport, who got more numbers, you or Mo?
No comment.
Number 18, have you ever resold sneakers?
I have got rid of pairs that I don't like
Got
anymore.
rid of?
Or I've enjoyed, yeah.
Number 19, what's the best shoe in your collection?
I want to say my pine green Dunk Lows Off-White.
Dope. And besides the breads, number 20, what is your grail?
I can't think of any other shoe except that on my mind right now.
That's good. All right, mate, you did good.
Thank you.
Cool. That was good, Ash. Jeff, you did really good. You got 0 out of 20. We make the
Tried the
same
best.
every single time we have a feature on. So hopefully somebody does laugh. But yeah, Ash, that was a good one, man. Appreciate that.
Cheers.
Right, lads, on to the next segment. This is the part of the podcast we like to call Take My Dough or Leave It, Bro. This is a quick fire round. One of us names a bunch of sneakers. The HSU team will have to say whether it's take my dough or leave it, bro. Simple game. This week, it's my turn to set the tone. So I'm going to say this in third party. Mo, let's go. So the first sneaker it's the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0. And Dean, let's go to you first.
For me, this is a leave it. I just find it funny. Like it's fine. It's an okay pair. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a nice colorway. People will like it. But it's just it sums up the way sneaker game has changed with the 1.0 shadow sitting, and this one like gonna be worth probably a couple £100 on resale. And
After that, yeah.
yeah, so like it's interesting, like the way I think it just sums up the way things have changed. But for me personally, because I have the 1.0 shadow, I just don't feel like I need this shoe. So it's leave it for me. Jeff, what do you think?
I mean, I've got the original shadows as well. I just clocked that the grey bit isn't even leather, so it's not really
Yeah,
a reverse.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, if it's nice in person, I would cop for retail, but it's not necessary because I've got the original colorway.
Fair. Super fair. Ash.
Do you know what's going to be annoying? Like what happens if all Jordan pairs? Now, when you search for Jordan 1 Shadow, you're never going to find the originals anymore. They're just going to cease to exist.
Oh,
This is going to be like the pair that comes up all the time. And what's
Yeah.
funny is the grey is nothing like the shadow grey. So I don't even know why it's even called that. Should be like the smoke grey or whatever. But anywho, me, I don't need it. I'll take a pair if it comes just to have a look at it, but I don't need this pair at all. So I'll say leave it, bro.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For me, at the same time, yeah, it's a leave it, bro. It's not a requirement for me, and I don't have the Shadow 1.0s, but I would love a pair. This shoe for me it's not it, man. With it being sort of new buck, throughout basically the whole shoe, apart from the toe box and mid panels. I know it's a super easy shoe to wear. I just think it's not for me. I think I need to put my priorities into other sneakers that I need to go back for, or also to try and acquire my number one that I'm trying to get.
Have there been many good Jordan 1s this year? Besides the neutral greys, I'm trying to think what else.
Hyper.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been a lot of new buck pairs, isn't it?
there has.
The uni blues are the same.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
seems like it's going in that direction,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
a new theme for the year.
Moving on to the next shoe, lads, and we have the Nike SB Dunk Low Pro in the reverse Papa Bear, which is basically SB Dunk. Obviously, the SB tongue. It's got like a suede upper mixed with some sort of, I'd say, pebbled leather.
Yeah.
Maybe bit of tumbled leather. Swoosh is like a oak type of suede outsole. It's like a blue outsole, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the suede on it is like that hairy type of long haired
Yeah,
type of
towards the
suede.
heel it looks a bit sticking out.
Yeah, does look a bit hairy. Ash, let's actually go to you first.
It's a leave it, bro, for me. The leather looks pretty nice. I think if the swoosh was a different color, I might possibly be interested, but I'm not big into navy in general, so leave it, bro, for me.
Fair enough. Dean, how about you, bro?
Yeah, I don't like these at all personally. I think a lot of the SB heads will like them, but the colors don't work for me. But yeah, the materials look nice. Just not something I'm interested in personally. So it's an easy leave it.
Fair enough. Jeffers, how you feeling about these, man?
I mean, my favorite color is blue. I didn't get the curry lows. I think it's quite nice. Like, I take my dough on these ones.
Cool. Very fair. Very fair. For me, as you guys all know, I'm not a massive SB type of guy, just because of the tongue and sort of the way it fits around my ankle. So for me, this is a leave it, bro. So yeah, I can actually move on from this one. The third shoe, lads, is the Nike Dunk Low Lemon Drop. It is a majority, let's say, new buck upper with some tumbled leather on the toe box and mid panel, speckled kind of swoosh or sort of waffle tongue. It's got a lemon sort of type image on the heel counter on the lateral side. Not even sure if just on the lateral side. Sort of like a dark charcoaly translucent outsole. Jeff, let's actually go to you first. Is this a take my dough or leave it, bro, for you?
I think it's a leave it, bro. Like, I mean, it's got pattern on the heel tab. It's like all over the place. I mean, the only thing I really like on the shoe would probably be the gum sole. I mean, I don't know the story behind the lemon on the side of the ankle. The colorway is not really a bit of me, and the quality doesn't look like it's there compared to the bare pair. Yeah, I'll leave that.
Very fair, man. Very fair point. Ash, how about you, man?
I was kind of semi-interested into it until I zoomed in on that swoosh, and it kind of put me off of the shoe, to be honest. So it's a leave it, bro, for me. I probably will try on sneakers just to see, but I'm really not that bothered.
Fair enough, man. Just seems like a massive like abundance of like dunks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I don't
I can
know.
imagine that colorway isn't exactly like the pictures as well. I bet it's like
Yeah,
slightly
yeah,
lighter than it is.
yeah. Dean, how about you, man?
You know, they look nice. It's tempting. It's tempting, but it's one of those pairs where if I didn't win it, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't care. But I could see them being really easy to rock.
Yeah.
But they,
possibly.
like Jeff said, that quality worry as well, man. You just don't know. So
What was the curry quality like? You've got those, didn't you?
it's quite nice, man. It's
Those are
Puma.
nice.
Yeah, and you know what? I've worn that pair a lot. It's really, really wearable. It goes with everything and easy to put on. So that's
That
why I
price
quite
flew
like.
up too quick for me.
Yeah, it went crazy, man. But yeah, these are quite similar. So because of that, it makes me feel like I don't need them. But if I won them, this is the sort of pair where I'd make the mistake of like unds-ing it and just wearing
Yeah,
it.
when you
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Totally get you, man. Totally get you. For me, it's a straight up. It's a leave it, bro. For me, the whole colorway just doesn't resonate with me.
I don't like the tongue either.
Yeah, I find it quite difficult to rock. I'm not sure how I would rock it unless you look like basically what Craig says is like a biscuit, like a custard cream. Or something. Your whole
A
outfit.
wafer.
Yeah. Okay, lads, on to the next shoe, and we actually have the Adidas XZ0006 inside out shoe, which is basically it's an inside out sneaker take on the Aquas. Let's say Aquas, right?
Yeah.
So
It's an
basically
X6000, I guess.
ZX6000 exactly, and then it's supposed to be the Aqua sneaker. It's basically they've flipped it inside out to make it look like they've done a whole topsy turvy on it. I think I'll go first with this one. To be fair, I don't think it looks that bad. I actually think it's better than the OG Aqua. I don't know. That's going to probably annoy some people.
Yeah, annoyed me.
I don't know. I kind of
FYI.
like it. I kind of like it, but
I'll enter for you, yeah?
yeah, I kind of like it, but I don't think I need it. For that reason, it's a leave it, bro, for me. I do like the concept itself, though. Obviously, everyone loves a sell midsole, and yeah, I kind of like this inside out concept, man. So it kind of works, but just don't need it. So it's a leave it, bro, for me. Ash, let's go to you, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this model. I think the laces look super thin. It just doesn't work on this pair. The inside out thing, it's a great concept, bit gimmicky, but looks wise, it doesn't do anything for me. I think it's in two different colorways. I'm looking at the Aqua one. I've got the ZX 8000 Aquas, and I'd much prefer those. So easy, leave it, bro.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Dean, how about you, man?
Yeah, it's an easy leave it for me, man. Just doesn't do much for
It's a
me. This pair.
monstrosity.
Jeffers, how about you? What's
It's a
your take?
It's a nice idea. I don't own any ZX Adidas. I've tried them on, and ever since then, I've never had really any interest. So it was an easy leave it for me.
Very fair, man. Very fair. I think like they've kind of tried to go for that whole deconstructed look as well, isn't it? If you look at the heel counter, you've got the exposed sponge. Like, can you see that there? I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Right, lads. The last shoe of Take My Dough or Leave It Bro is the New Balance 991 Cross Slam Jam. And it's a majority dark sneaker. So different type of panels. Obviously, it's a 991 silhouette. sort of let's say dark grey on the toe box. You've got them accent aglets on the laces as well. You've got, I think that's a 3MN on the
Yeah.
mid
Sold.
here straight away. Very dope shoe. Everyone knows I'm like a 991 fan. Do you know what? This for me, sorry, I'll take this one first, lads. It's a potential, it's a potential take my dough, man. I have been looking at a few other 991s, and I know I shouldn't be saying it like I'm waiting for a collab to buy another 991, but this pair is actually really, really nice. Super easy to wear. Will be good for all seasons as well. Yeah, I think this is really nice, to be fair. So it's a take my dough from me. Jeff, let's go to you next. What are you thinking about this shoe?
Well, I don't actually own any New Balances, but I've seen them in hand. I know the materials are always dope. Even if this wasn't a collab, I think it would be a take my dough. I do really like the light grey pair. So yeah, it'd be a take my dough for me. I think they look nice.
Cool. Dean, how about you, man?
Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm with you guys. It's a really, really nice pair. They did a great job on this. I think this will look amazing on foot, but I wouldn't pay resale. So if I get them, I'll definitely rock them and I'll keep them because it's going to be just supreme quality. I mean, the details. Looking at the up close images, they look incredible. So take my dough for me, but if I don't get them, I'm not gonna lose any sleep.
Very fair, man. Super fair. Ash, let's go to you, man. Tell us.
I say it's a take my dough, but the one reservation is speaking to a couple like New Balance guys. I'm on a couple Facebook forums and stuff. I have a feeling the 991 isn't going to be good for my feet from how people have spoken about the fit on it. For me, a lot of people that have same sort of thing as me prefer 992s, 993s fit wise compared to the 991s. Even was talking to Tom, he bought a pair and he thought the same sort of thing. It wasn't the most comfortable shoe for him. So potential I would cop and might not fit me too well, but I think I do like how it looks, so it'll be worth testing out. I know collaborations don't always have to be brand heavy, but I would have liked if it had like Slam Jam on the heel or something just to have it on there. Because I know Kith, they do a lot of collaborations where you don't even know it's a Kith collaboration, like it's literally written on the insole or something. So I know branding isn't everything. It's not going to make the shoe look any better with it having Slam Jam on it, but it would have been nice if it did. I think that's the only thing missing.
It's kind of nice to hear about a different branded shoe other than an Air Jordan 1 or something.
For sure.
Easy, isn't it? So it's good. It's good. I really think New Balance are doing good things, man. They're definitely getting the attention of the collectors out there and the community. So big shout out to them, man. Right, lads. So that takes us to the end of the podcast. We're about ready to close out episode 15 of Half Size Up. As always, it's been dope chopping it up with you boys. In the meantime, do we have any shout outs or honorable mentions? Ash, let's go to you first.
Same as usual. Shout out to all the people getting involved with all the questions. Shout out for Jeff to coming on. It's been very good having you on here, bro. And shout out to the rest of the team as well.
Dope. Dean, any shout outs or honorable mentions?
Yeah, just the usual, man. Shout out to everyone listening. Shout out to Kuya, Jeff, for coming on, being a great guest today, man. It's been super nice having you chop it up with us. And yeah, just shout out to everyone that gets involved with the questions each week as well.
Wicked. And Jeff, man, give us your shout outs, man. Give us your shout outs.
Really, just you guys, man. The Half Size Up crew just like doing big things. So I really appreciate you guys having me on. I've had a nice catch up with you guys. You guys are like extended family to me. So I felt that was a really nice way to end the weekend. So thank you for having me on.
Pleasure.
That's dope, man. Feeling a bit emotional now, you know. Yeah, it's been wicked having you on, man. Don't forget to follow Jeff at Abenojar on Instagram for that daily dose of top-down on-foot shots on his feed. Shout out to the local and global audience that's been tuning in, week out. Big shout out to you guys. Also, Half Size Up was brought to you today by the Pink Miracle Shoe Cleaner, the original shoe cleaner since 1985. Use our code HalfSizeUp15 for 15% off your purchase online. Don't forget, we're a weekly podcast and you can follow us on Instagram at HalfSizeUpPod. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, many more, plus YouTube. We want to say a big thanks from the entire Half Size Up team. I've been Merkel Moman with my co-host Dean Still,
Have a great week, guys.
Ash Bash,
Catch you later, people.
and today's feature, Jefferson.
Stay safe. My name's Jeff.
See you next week. We are outie. That was dope, man. Jeff really came with 21 Jump Street, you know.
Proper. That was wicked, man.
Nice one, Jeff.
Dope
Yeah,
one,
so-
guys.